I have the best idea ever, Mia declared, spreading a big piece of paper on the grass. Today, we're not just building a sandcastle. We're building an entire sand city. Squeaky the squirrel chattered. A city! With tiny roads for acorns? Felix the fox's eyes gleamed. And a grand palace for a very clever king? Rosie the rabbit twitched her nose. A whole city? That sounds like a lot of work, she said softly. Will we have enough shovels? Don't you worry about that, rumbled Barnaby the bear, flexing his big furry arms. I have the best shovels right here. He scooped up a huge pile of sand with his paws to show them. They gathered their tools, buckets and spades, rakes and molds. Mia led the way, pulling a little red wagon filled with their construction gear towards the big sand pit at the bottom of the garden. The sand pit was a wide, golden desert waiting for their ideas. Okay, team, Mia said, unrolling her plans. First, we need a giant mountain for the castle. Barnaby, you're up. With mighty heaves and happy grunts, Barnaby began to push and pile the sand. Soon, a magnificent mound rose up in the center of their new city, ready to be carved into a castle. Mia took her favorite blue spade and began to shape the castle. She carved tall towers and thick walls, patting the damp sand smooth. It needs a grand entrance, she murmured. I can do that, whispered Rosie. She found a sturdy twig and, with delicate precision, began to etch tiny windows and a big arched doorway into the castle walls. Every great castle needs a moat, declared Felix. He grabbed a small trowel and began to dig a wide, winding trench all the way around the castle. Felix stood back and admired his work. Perfect! Now, all we need is water. Everyone looked at the empty moat, then at the watering can, which was all the way over by the garden tap. I know, said Mia. We'll form a bucket brigade. She filled the watering can at the tap. Barnaby, you pass it to Felix, Felix passes it to Rosie, and Rosie will pour. Carefully, they passed the watering can down the line. Barnaby's strong paws were steady, and Felix was quick and nimble. Rosie took the can and gently tilted it, letting a stream of water gush into the trench. The water swirled around, and just like that, their castle had a real shimmering moat. Hooray, they all cheered. Now for the decorations, chattered Squeaky. He scampered off into the garden, his keen eyes searching for treasures. He returned with a collection of smooth gray pebbles for pathways, tiny snail shells to line the castle walls, and a bright yellow dandelion to fly like a flag from the tallest tower. Carefully, they all helped place the decorations. The pebbles became a winding road leading to the castle gate, and the shells looked like tiny shields along the ramparts. The flag, Mia said. She helped Squeaky climb to the top of the highest tower. He carefully pushed the stem of the dandelion into the damp sand. It stood tall and proud. With the castle complete, they started on the city. Felix built a long, clever bridge over the moat using a piece of bark. Rosie patted together little round houses for the citizens. Barnaby built a mighty wall all around the city of sandy sprinkles to keep it safe. He used an upside-down bucket to make perfect, sturdy towers along the wall. Just as they were finishing, a little ladybug landed on the dandelion flag. Look, whispered Rosie, our city has its first visitor. They all stood back to admire their incredible creation. It was more than a sandcastle. It was a whole world, complete with walls, houses, a moat, and a palace. Felix puffed out his chest and trotted proudly across his bark bridge. I declare the royal city of Sandy Sprinkles is now open, he announced in a grand voice. They all giggled. As the afternoon sun began to dip lower in the sky, it cast long shadows across their city. A gentle breeze made the dandelion flag flutter. It was perfect. It's the best sand city in the whole world, Mia said softly. They were tired but happy. They knew their city would be waiting for them, ready for new adventures tomorrow.